I give you guys all the business. Like, there's nothing hidden. There's nothing that comes out before I show you. But how are you ever going to really understand it if you don't know what the struggle looks like? Hi everybody, thanks for clicking on this video and welcome to the beginning of my savings, budgeting, and YouTube journey. I am here to represent the hardworking, low-income single parents. On this channel, I experiment with different budgeting styles, savings goals, and I share the strategies I learn as I go. So if that sounds interesting at all to you, please go ahead and click the like button and subscribe to follow my journey. All right, so let's get started. What I want to do today is I'm doing my midweek check-in. Basically, this is when I review my budget. I am paid bi-weekly. In between those weeks, I like to come in and take a look at my budget to make sure that I'm still on track, make sure all the bills that needed to come out have come out, and whether I'm expecting to have any rollover or extra money that I can save. Please excuse my hand if you see it moving weirdly. My carpal tunnel is flaring up. I know I need to do something about it. I will one day. Anyway, first I want to show you these pens I got from Amazon. I finally took something out of my YouTube supply envelope. So these I got from Amazon. I've been saying for the longest that I need erasable pens. I bought some from Temu and they were not what they claimed to be. So I got these from Amazon. I believe they were $6. That's how much I wrote down anyway. They were $6 on Amazon. I will make sure to leave a link down in the description box. But I just wanted to let you guys know that they work great. So you'll see me use them. I've actually only used the black one so far, but I really like it. It actually erases, like the other one that I had. It just didn't work well. So that's that. I will go ahead and link the video for the original budget. You guys can take a look and follow along. So you'll see what my original budget plan was. And let's get into what I have left in the bank. The first thing that I'd like to start with is to check my bank account, see how much I have in my main account and in my bill account. So I have two checking accounts in my bank. So the two accounts that I have in my main bank, it was for everyday spending, but since I'm using cash, that one I don't touch much anymore. The bill account one I use for any automatic payments. Any bills that comes out of that account, just so I can divvy up a little bit more. And I think I'm going to make some changes as far as that goes too. I did explain before that I had changed the way that I was going to deposit money. So what happens when you're a cash stuffer is if you need to buy anything online, well, I'll speak for myself only. If I need to buy anything online or with my debit card, usually it's an online purchase that it comes from, I will take the cash from the envelopes and replace it. So I'll use my buffer or whatever extra money I have in the bank account already, which usually is just my buffer. I will take that back to the bank. That's to replace a buffer. What I had decided to do the past pay period was to keep that money and just replace the buffer with the next paycheck. I feel like that kind of messed up my budgeting as far as my numbers. I got confused, which is not hard for me to do. But what I did this pay period is I went to the bank today, which is in the midweek, put the cash that I needed to replace back in the bank so that now when I do my midweek check-in, I have actual numbers with what is actually in the bank, one place to worry about besides what I have in my cash envelopes. All right, let's take a look. I'll start with the bill account. Let's date this, so midweek review. And this is for a paycheck from November 8th through November 21st. And today is the 15th. Okay, so we're halfway through. Here we notate the main account. So I took a look and thankfully the main account has $75 in it, which is my goal. I have $75 as a buffer in the main account. So like I said, I explain all the time, buffer is just for anything that may come up that I might need to use the bank account for, or I need to use a debit card for, or whatever. So that stays there. The bill account has $576. I'm not even going to bother with the change, but it has $576. Now, there are some things that do still need to come out. So far, what has come out, this is the thing that I want to review, of course, because this is the budget. So here it is. this was paycheck A. So the budget that I did, my pre-payday prep, I ended up having to redo it because there were some numbers that just didn't line up. So when I redid it, this is the sheet that I redid it on. Basically, the only thing that changed from my pre-payday prep and payday was that I didn't have any sinking funds, which is fine. Netflix has come out, Amazon phone, utilities has been paid and it's come out. Student loan has been paid and it's come out. So these have two check boxes because one is when I pay it and the other is when it comes out of the bank. Might seem unnecessary, but to me it is. Grocery I actually went over in, and I will explain that. And allowance has come out, but she didn't get the full amount, but I am leaving the other amount in there. So she got $15 instead of 20. So she's working on getting the rest of that. It's not much money, but it works with, you know, just teaching her how to budget. So grocery, let me go over that with you. So when I looked at my app, I'm just going to write it here on the side. When I looked at my app, you guys know I am using the account book for expense tracking. It's an app that I can use where I can input, you know, different categories for what I'm using for cash, bill account, main account. And I am loving that app. If you have not downloaded it, I suggest you do. Of course, this is not sponsored. Don't nobody know who I am. So, but I do recommend that app. So far, I'm loving it. And there are more features that I am learning that I'm loving even more. So definitely give it a try. There's a little learning curve, but you know, if you've used technology before, you can definitely get it. So for groceries, I spent at Walmart $168.02. Of that, $39 was not groceries. So that was, some came from home, some came from miscellaneous, and some actually came from Christmas. I got my daughter a little gift from there. So I had to subtract the $39 because I want to make sure I know how much I have left. In groceries. So 168 minus the 39 is $129. So then we also spent let's just say $45 at see how good that erases? It's much better than the one that I had before. Okay, and then we spent, I said $45 at Aldi's, which was an extra trip. And then we did another grocery trip at another grocery store, which was $23. So 45 plus 23. So from the bank account, oops, see? Easily confused. So from the bank account, we used 197. Now you will remember that the grocery budget was $180. Let me show you that real quick because this is my budget. Why would you remember? So here it is. Grocery right there, $180. That was the budget. So clearly we went above that by $17, okay? And then I used some money from dining out for groceries. Clearly, I am not budgeting well or correctly for groceries, but this is how I know, by tracking it, by paying attention to my expenses. This is how I know that I need to put more in groceries. So we will work on that for the future. So we spent $20 extra from the dining out envelope. So we went over budget in groceries by $37. So I replaced all this money that came out that I used the card for in the bill account. I replaced it. I just took the cash from the envelopes and I deposited it into the bank account. So this is just for me to know, okay, you overspent on groceries by $37. Need to adjust that budget. And the good thing is that means I spent less on dining out, only because I used it on groceries. So, I mean, I would rather, as I'm learning, you guys are on this lovely journey with me, as I'm learning groceries, definitely, clearly, we all know that groceries are a better value than going out to eat. We love going out to eat. It's a nice treat for us sometimes, but, you know. All right, so $37 over budget for groceries. Now, so that didn't put us in the red, and I'll tell you why. So groceries, there's no more of that coming out. There's $5 left for allowance, which I will probably take out and put into her sinking funds. Her allowance never gets spent in any other way. It always goes to her, whether she, you know, gets it in her account or not. And she just has like a debit card that I can send money to. So that leaves us with $571. And of course, we'll refer back to that budget. $430 has to stay in the bank for my mortgage. So that's half of the mortgage. Brings us to $141. And I could do this in my head sometimes, but I tend to make errors when I rely on my brain and not my fingers. So what's next is we'd like to keep a buffer in there for $75. All right. So let's take that out. We don't want to calculate that in there. So we have $66 left. So what I want to explain to you why there's money left in there, because normally there would not be any money left, is this is how I like to, I did this last time I did a midweek check-in, and I like having this layout so that I can see, you know, all the different categories that I have and where all the money is at the midpoint. So for the sinking funds, I used Christmas. I can tell you for sure what I used. Here it is, my lovely, devly sinking funds tracker. So we used $105 in Christmas, $9 in health, $6 in YouTube supplies for my pens. So we used a total of $120. Now I am gonna be extra petty, I guess. Well, detailed. Let's call it detailed. That's the resume version of extra. Christmas was $105. Health is $9. And this is just an easy place to look back at everything in one place instead of flipping through all these pages. And the supplies, we used $6. So I don't fill out these end balances yet. Well, basically, the end balance for this week will be the same as the beginning balance for next pay period. But I'm not doing that yet because I might use something else here. Good thing is I can adjust that if I need to, basically. So, and the reason that I have that $66 left is because these all went back into the bank account along with some from home, etc. So $120 in sinking funds used so far this pay period. This $66 that I have, what I did was when I used the purchase for Christmas, I actually put it on, well, some of it, I put some on a credit card. So I think it was $86 exactly went on the credit card, and the rest I kind of spent at Walmart. So out of Christmas, that $105, $86 was supposed to be paid on the credit card because that's how much I charged. But clearly, because I went over in grocery, it just didn't balance out the correct way. So what I'm going to do instead is just use the $66 to pay off a portion of the credit card. So I'll give you that balance too. I give you guys all the business. Like there's nothing hidden. There's nothing that comes out before I show you. It's a lot. But how are you ever going to really understand it if you don't know what the struggle looks like? All right, $66. That brings us down to $0, which I am a zero-based budgeter. So we like that to be $0. Let me just... Technically, it's not $0. Technically, it will be $75, but you get it. So on the Discover credit card, let me check that actually, because I haven't done that. What is that? The Price is Right theme song? It's one of those shows. Is it Jeopardy? I don't know. Somebody tell me in the comments what that is. Ooh, so... the credit card now has $128.23. We're going to round that to $129. Okay. So what it had before was, I started with $79.66. And then we paid $37. That was in our budget. It's not broken down right here, but for debt, $37 was to go to my credit card, $15 for Klarna, and $7 for another Klarna purchase. So that would have brought us down to $42.66. Now we spent, let's see, $82.60. I hate that Amazon, like, depending on the vendor, Amazon kind of like breaks it up, and I don't like that they do that. But so when you are shopping on Amazon, make sure you look at that total before you check out. Otherwise, it is gone, and you have to do some calculations if you're buying more than one thing. Okay, so $85.57 plus $42.66, $128.23. Okay, that's how much is on the credit card right now. All right, so we said that we're gonna make a payment to the credit card for $66. That's gonna bring it down to $62.23. I will try to pay that off by the end of the year. If I have to use it again, it's okay. I will, because I am getting credit card points by using Amazon. Of course, I'm going to be careful with how much I spend on it, but I am getting points, and those points I can use to make purchases or on the payments, etc. You know, whatever I decide to do. All right, now let's see what we have in cash. Last but not least. All right, here's my little wallet here. It's a little cheat sheet running list that I have. And I also have like a checklist here that I use to check off this stuff. One thing too I forgot to mention is, that came out, is remember what I said why can't I talk? If you remember, I said in one of my videos that I found out that my bank you know, they do the math for me with any pending transactions. That is only true for some of them. I found out that if it does not say hold, they didn't include that in my current balance. So yet again, never assume. So I am doing the math from now on all of it. I'm double checking their math to make sure it's right. All right, so let's take this off. Let's do, you know what, I forgot this before. I said that I was going to start letting you guys know what the beginning balances were for these. So I wrote down all of my categories. We're going to find out what we started them each with and then how much we had left. So personal, let me just do that. Now let's see what's left. Personal has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Personal has $7 left. That means we spent $43. So let's make sure this row I remember is what we spent. So far, we spent $43. Home started with 30. There's $0. Okay. Started with 30. There's $0 left, which means we spent $30. Entertainment still has money left in it, but we will probably be using this today. All right, 5, 10, 20, 30. All right, I'm gonna do this the other way. Let's see what's spent and then remaining. All right, so we said $43 was spent and we have $7 remaining. $30 was spent in home. We have $0 remaining. Entertainment, $0 was spent, so we have $30 remaining. Dining out, had $50. There's nothing remaining, but I have to remember $20 went to grocery. So that's when I do my closeout. I have to remember so that I know that all the funds go into the right categories. So $0 remaining. Gas has a weird number. We tried to fill it up and I guess it didn't need that much. So let's see. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So gas has $14 left. $36. And 14 left. Miscellaneous has nothing left. Nada. We spent $25. So remaining, we have, as of now, of course, like I said, we still have a week left. That means we have $51 in cash envelopes as of right now. So I don't know. I'm not going to worry about rollover right now. Rollover is whether I have any money left in these envelopes by the time I get paid next. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I will. If I do, great. If I don't, that's okay. That would be it usually, but let me take a look at my budget sheet. I decided I'm going to start filling that in with actuals. So let me bring it out so I can explain it better. Some things did change from when I created this to when I got paid, but that's okay. We'll still go based on what numbers we have here, so we can see what some of the actuals were. So mortgage, of course, that's going to be the same. The buffer is still in there, which I am not going to count that anymore. I just have to find a different way to include the buffer because it messes me up every time. Grocery, we said we spent $37 over budget. So we spent $217 in grocery. No bueno. And allowance was $15 instead. Should I count 20 because that $5 will still go to her at the end? Netflix, that was regular. All these bills have come out, so I can put in the actuals now. And I also learned that my student loan, I thought it was $30-something. I found out that it is actually $26.52. So the $93 that I put in there is actually going to last me 3.5 months, which is great. So it'll get me to November, December, January, and half of February. So that's great. It's $26.52. That's how much my student loan is, which I will probably start paying more. I don't know. It's hard enough to do the basics right now. We'll deal with that when we can. Any of the variable funds that I have left, I'm not going to put the actuals in yet, of course, because I don't know how much I will have spent by the day before payday. But I'll do whatever has nothing left because I know I can't spend any more than I had. 25. Gas, we won't use any more of that, so I can put the gas here. Gas, we spent $36. So we don't need any more gas in the next week. $36. And entertainment, I'm not putting anything down right now because there's still money left. Dining, I'm going to put the whole, actually, I'm going to put 30 because 20 went to groceries. So that's it. Personal, there's still money left. In entertainment, there's still money left. Gas, there's money left, but we're not going to use that. So if anything, that $14 in gas will be rollover. But so here's my cheat sheet, my infamous cheat sheet. So I could not find my rollover sticky that I showed you guys originally, but here's a new one I had to make for where I want any extra money that I have left in my wallet to go if I do not spend it. And for gas and grocery, I decided to create a sinking fund. Thanks to one of my subscribers. You know who you are. Thank you so much. I created a sinking fund for the gas and grocery rollover because that's always something that can fluctuate. So like Thanksgiving's coming up. So if I have any money left over for gas or groceries, it goes into a sinking fund. Here's the one that I created. So originally I created one for gas and one for grocery, and then I decided that's dumb. So I just made it groceries and gas. That way, if I need more in either of them, I can just take it from here. It just doesn't matter that much. So, and this is our little home binder. You guys have seen all my binders before. If you want a video of me going over all of my binders, you know, what's in them, is there money left in them? I do need to do a condensing too, like a small one, because I ain't got that much money. But still, I do need to do that. I am going to do a video of my plans I explained to you guys before that my job, they have to pay us some back pay, and I wanted to do an estimate of how much I think it will be. I will know by Saturday when I do my pre-payday prep for sure, but I just thought I like to do things in advance. So I already have a list of where extra funds should go. So that's just a running list that I have. I've done that for years. And that's usually because I don't get lump sums often. So lump sums are usually like tax time for me. So I always have a running list of things that I want to do at tax time, like I know I'm not the only one. People say, that's gonna have to wait till tax time. So when I say tax time, I mean income tax, your income tax refund. If you get some people don't. I intentionally make sure that I get a refund for tax time. And that's because of the way that I do my car note. It's a way to supplement that payment. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you take a look at the video here just to show you how I supplement that larger payment. So that's working well for me, and it has for several years now. But I am done rambling. Question of the day is, first part of the question is, when do you plan on starting your savings for Christmas? Like, do you start in January? Do you start half of the year? When is your plan to do that every year, or your goal? And when do you actually start saving? Because my goal last year was to start from the very beginning. And I think I came with my Always Fund maybe in like May. I don't know, May or June, whatever. Clearly not the beginning of the year. So let's start setting these goals. How much have you saved for Christmas so far, and how much do you want to save? I mean, we're cutting it close. And when do you start shopping? That's mad questions. I'm sorry. Way too many questions, but just chat with me down in the comments. You guys know I like to do that. All right, that is it for me today. I want you to always remember, it is about progression and not about perfection. Thanks for watching. Happy saving, everybody. Bye.